Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another one-page video. In these videos, I like to take one particular artist and look at one page of their work. It helps us focus in a little bit more and also make the videos a little bit easier to digest. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the art of J.Scott Campbell. I already made a video about his work that's a little bit more in-depth. I think what it focused on was only his Gen 13 art, if I'm not mistaken. This was a while ago, but he has done some other series as well. This particular page is from one of his old series right after Gen 13 called Danger Girl, if you're not already familiar. And I picked a completely penciled page as well. There's an edition that collects, I think it's like the first few issues of Danger Girl, all just penciled, so it's like photographs of the actual original penciled art, and it's incredible. I highly recommend it, either in physical form or you could download the Comixology version as well. And if you're interested at all in drawing comics, whether you want to draw action adventure stuff or not, I just feel like there's so much to learn by the way he composes a page and how he draws anatomy and facial expressions, and his storytelling I think is incredibly underrated. So yeah, let's zoom in a little bit. Since this is all just penciled, you get to see some of the the shorthand things like the X's here, which indicate to the inker just to fill stuff in black. I love this stuff. I remember when I first started looking at his work when I was much younger, I got to see, and this was probably like in Wizard or something like that, I got to see some of his penciled work, and I couldn't believe just how much detail he was getting only using a pencil. And these are at 11 by 17, which is a bigger sheet of paper, but it's not that big. And it's really impressive as to how much information he could put on a page without making it feel super cluttered. I mean, if you look at this, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 9-paneled page. 9 panels on a page is a lot, but every panel feels like it's its own, illustration, and it gets all the attention that it deserves. Nothing here seems rushed or crammed. Even when he's drawing, I mean, at full size, this is still right here. This is still a pretty small panel, and he's fitting in 3 characters here really easily. So it's just a testament to how comfortable he is drawing anatomy, body language, as well as drawing it that clearly at that size. I remember reading in a how-to book years ago when I was still probably a teenager trying to just figure out how to do this stuff. I remember reading that he would lay out his pages on 11 by 17, but he would divide an 11 by 17 board into 4, and so he'd get four pages on one of these sheets. And seeing examples of that in this book that was sort of documenting his process was incredible, because he was getting so much of this detail at a quarter of the size, which was incredible. So he's obviously very comfortable drawing small, and that helps in terms of laying out a page, because he, like I said, even though 11 by 17 is it's a very big size to work on, he's really devising it up into very tiny illustrations that make this one complete image. And like I mentioned earlier, his storytelling I think is underrated. I think he's most known now as a cover artist, and he draws really beautiful women, and he doesn't really do much sequential stuff anymore, but looking back at some of his older work, especially this Danger Girl series, the storytelling is just really, really well done. I mean, you could go through the first several issues without having to really read any of the dialogue, and it's super clear as to what's going on. It's an action-adventure story, and the pace is really, fun and exciting. It really moves. You hear the explosions. You feel the fight scenes. It's really well done. And this was at sort of like, I feel like the height of his popularity when Danger Girl came out, and it was him, and the inker that he worked with was Alex Garner, and that was like my favorite comic book duo back then, was J.Scott Campbell and Alex Garner on inks. At the time, it felt like no one was better. But the thing about it, years later, I'm able to look at this stuff and still say, man, this holds up completely. I almost have more respect for it now after having worked in comics and knowing just how hard it is to, make certain kinds of stories work on page, and he did that really, really well. Granted, he would take his time with this stuff. I would love to know just exactly how long it took him to pencil this page. He wasn't working, in the Marvel bullpen sort of tradition where he was batting out a page and a half a day or anything like that. I would say that one of these pages took him at least a couple days, but probably more than that. So it definitely looks very detailed, but there was a lot of time put into it. I don't think he was rushing this stuff, especially as a fan back in the day when this stuff was coming out. It took months between issues, but every time a new issue came out, it was totally worth it, because you would get stuff like this on every page, which was incredible. And also, for all the digital artists out there, this was done traditionally. This is paper. This is pencil on paper, which is incredible. I believe Danger Girl, this is from the preview issue. I think it was like issue 0 or something like that. Pretty sure it came out in '97. That's when I remember picking it up. And this is long before the time that most or any comic artists were really working digitally at all. So just to also put it into perspective, that there were no shortcuts here. This is all just drawing, pencil right on paper. That's a huge inspiration for me. I think I love digital art. I love utilizing digital software, but when I look at stuff like this, it's always a reminder that you could do anything with just pencil and paper, which is awesome to see. So if anyone is working traditionally or interested in trying out traditional tools, I would recommend looking at this particular Danger Girl edition that collects all the penciled pages. It's really awesome. So anyway, I hope you dig this one. If you like what you're seeing here, like I mentioned before, I have another I have another video where I look at some of J.Scott Campbell's other stuff from his Gen 13 run. So I'll try to link that somewhere in this video or down below, and I'll also link some of his other collections and all that kind of stuff. So thanks so much for watching. As always, if you have any comments or questions, feedback, whatever it might be, or recommendations for artists for me to cover in future videos, leave those in the comments down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.